Hello me loves, how's it going? I am just about to load up the, where's it gone, small boat, there. Okay, so I'm loading this up so that we can continue having a jolly old time making it cool. Now, the rear of the boat, to be honest, it should be a bit flatter than that, but you know what, I'm going to leave it as it is because I can, and instead I'm going to change this into some cupboard space. So I'm going to hit F4 just so I can see my edges, and I would like a loop, so let's see if I can run one down. I'm going to go to modeling and press swift loop, and yep, there's one there. Okay, so what I want to do now is find a way to basically close this off a bit. So I'm going to start selecting my edges and get rid of them, and I just want to use my select tool rather than select and move. Okay, there we go. I'm just, as you see, getting rid of parts that I don't want. Now there's one there, so I'll get rid of that. One there. And I'm being very careful in which parts I remove, if you look, okay? I don't want to remove anything that isn't kind of needing to be removed, if you can understand that. Okay, so down here, I'm selecting this top polygon and I'm going to zoom in. So I'll just press Z, and I want to have a look at these edges and see how straight they are. Now, if I just double click on it, I think it'll give me too much of a loop, you see, because it's giving me all the inside ones as well. So what I'll do is I'll select that, and let me see, I can loop it, I think. Well, that'll just move it around. Let's see if I can grow it. No? Okay, well, I'll just have to do it this way then. So I'm just going to select all my edges individually, like this, because I'm going to do that little scale trick that I think I showed you in the last part. So I'm going to just go to my scale tool. Okay, there it is there. Now I'm just going to scale it on one axis like that, and that will just flatten it completely out. Okay, and that's exactly how I need it. Okay, so the benefit of doing that is that I can now go into my bridge tools, and for that, let me have a look. Make sure I've got everything set up the way I want, and I have. So I am going to bridge from here to here, and then just slowly turn it. So you can see I'll just use my middle mouse button and Alt. I'm going to select here to here, and then I can select from here across to here, and that fills that one, and that fills that one, and there, and then here, then at the top, we're getting some good shapes here as well. Just going to zoom in a bit on this one, so I'll do another, just a bridge, then I can just close it. There we go. So there we go. So we've got this handy bridge here that's given us the end of the boat. Now, what we can do with the end of the boat here, because we've got a little bit of extra space, is we can turn this perhaps into a cupboard. I'll just turn down the sensitivity on my mouse. So I'm going to go in here like this, and in order to give it a cupboard I need to give it some inset. So let's say like that. Okay, now we have some problems in that any doors we open up, well, they'd need to be straight at the sides, and this isn't straight, is it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust this, and I'm just going to scale it in until it looks like a box. or rather a rectangle like that. Okay, and then to make sure it's straight, I'm just going to straighten these two edges on the y-axis there. There we go. Okay, so with that done, what I can do now is I'm going to make a copy of this bit, because this bit will become our door. So I'm just going to shift and drag it out, and I'm going to clone it to an element, so I don't need to give it a name. And then here I'm going to select the inside polygon, and I'm going to extrude it in only by a little bit, okay, because this would all be hollow inside anyway, and we don't really need to what do you call it? We don't really need to detail what's in here unless we decide that in game it's going to be opened and stuff's going to be taken out of it. In fact, I can probably just literally not do anything at all with it and just put this over the top. So I think I'll do that. I'm going to delete this. Okay, now I want an edge running all the way down the middle, so I'm going to split this. Now, as you see, I can use a swift loop, but I don't really want to, if I can help it. I think I'll just have it, stop that opening from the middle. So let's just go to our extrude. Whoops. There we go. We'll just bring that little door out just a little bit there. I'm just going to bevel it actually, just to bring it in. There we go. Then bring that in, and then bring it in again. Then I'm going to bring it up. And then I'm going to just do that. There we go. So that gives us this now, which has an impression that it's going to, you know, be a panel. Now we need to add a couple of hinges to it. Now we can do that either in texture, or we can add that in what's it called? In polygons. I think I'm going to add that in polygons. So I'm just going to get a box, and if I just use auto grid, and I'm going to click the color here and just change that to a grey. Okay, just because I don't really want lots of random colors, so a nice grey. And I'm just going to click here and bring it out like that, and then I'm going to drag it down, and then I'm going to take these two, right click, convert to editable polygon, and I think one of them's a little bit too long, so what I'm going to do is reduce the size of them both. So I'm going to attach them together. If I just press the attach button, there we go. Like that. And then hold down shift, and I want them selected by polygon. I'm just going to copy them, put them about there. Okay. Now they look a bit like hinges, but not fully yet. We know the door doesn't open, that's not a problem. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make a cylinder, and height segments I'm going to drop right down, and sides I'm going to take to about 12, because I don't need many sides on it. And then if I just pull it off the top of this, down, and then I can just bring that out to there, maybe up just a teeny bit. And what we're doing is we're giving the impression that we have hinges, even though, you know, they don't do anything, they look like hinges. And like I say, we could have done this in texture, but if we do this in texture, whoops-a-daisy, if we do this in texture, then we have to make sure that we're using a very, very decent high definition texture, because the way a boat's rowed is you're facing the back, so the character's going to be looking at these. Okay, that looks kind of okay. Now then, let's do some more work on this. So I'm going to attach these parts to it. Again, just use the attach tool. There we are. And you can see they highlight as I just mouse over, so I'm just clicking on them. I'm not attaching it to the boat yet. And yep, that's looking okay. Now, this part here, I need to split it. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select here, and here. Now, if I ring that, it'll go all the way down through the boat, which may be what I need, but it's a lot of extra polygons. I'll tell you what, I'll do that for the minute, so I'm going to use a connect. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this edge here, and I'm going to widen it. So if I just chamfer, and you can see there now that it's came a little bit wider. I don't want it too wide, maybe about there, that'll do it. Okay, and now I'm going to delete these polygons. And just zoom in here, delete that polygon there. And now if I select this edge, and at the top I also want to select this edge. So I've got Control held and I'll select them both. I can bridge, and then if I select these two and bridge, if I just press F4 now, you can see that it looks a lot more like some sort of a hatch for holding things in. So we're starting to get there. Okay, now what about some handles? Well, handles are easy enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start us with a cylinder. So the handles are normally at the top, and let's just pull our cylinder out, and I'm going to press F4 so I can see it a little bit better. Right click, convert to an editable polygon. Okay, and I'm going to just bring this in to about here, and then I'm going to use my bevel tool. Bevel's great for this. Okay, now if you're not used to bevel, okay, you click and you go forward, and that extrudes it, and then when you let go of your click, you can go in or out, and that increases or decreases the amount of bevel. And I am just going to make it a very small bevel like this, then out. I'm going to have it come out like this, and like that, then like that, and then bring it in, and we'll end up with a knob, which is marvellous. There we go. So there's a knob for us, and I might have too many edges there, so what I think I'll do is just select here and do a ring and a connect, and I'm just going to use my scale tool just to increase that a teeny bit. There we go. And then I'm going to select this one and press Control and Backspace, and this one and Control and Backspace. There we go. And that's removed the excess polygons and made it look okay. So that's good. I like that. Okay, the knob looks good. So will it look better in the middle? Yes. And I'm going to put the other one, oops a daisy, not there, that's the wrong place. I'm going to put the other one just there. There we go. Okay. And I don't really want to put much excess detail on if I can help it. But let's have a look down here. And I can put just a little cylinder, and we're going to have it, let's say 10 sides. So I'm going to do one, then make a copy, and normally for whatever reason there's 3 screws, not 4. There we go. And then if I just hold these and go shift and drag, put them there. And then if I move them over here, so I'm going to shift and drag, Now you'll notice they're facing the wrong direction. Don't worry about that. What we'll do is we'll just press the rotate key and move them 180 degrees. Okay, wasn't that easy? There we are. And now if I hold shift and just put that up there, there. And that is how we build our cupboard door. Okay, so now we have some lovely detail in here. Now the only thing I will say is that, as you can see, there's a lot of facets on this. If you like facets, that's great, but you might not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these to our hinge details first. Pardon me. So there's 3 little bolts here. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3, and we can mass add, but you know, I like the control it gives me knowing exactly which ones have been added. It makes things a bit easier. As you get faster, you know, yes, you can just press the select by list or whatever, but I'm not going to. Okay, and there's our 2 door handles. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this boat underscore fittings underscore 01. There we go. Now, to make them smoother, all I have to do is go here to where the modifier panel is. I'll turn off attach, go here, and if I look for the letter S and come down to see where it says smooth, I'm going to turn it to auto smooth, and I'm going to turn the parameter to 24. Okay, that's not quite enough. 25, 26, 28. I think, to be honest, I might need to take it as high as 35. There we go, and that completely smooths the doorknobs. Okay, and I can just convert to an editable polygon or collapse the stack. Right, so we've done quite a lot in this lesson. I think, you know, we're nearly at 20 minutes, and I think you've done really well if you followed along. If you haven't followed along yet, well, give it a try, you know. You will enjoy it, I promise you. It's really quite good fun. Something I think I'm probably going to need to do is to put a little rim just on top of the boat here. So I tell you what, we'll do that while I'm here. I should be able to do it by selecting this and pressing ring, and then control and select by polygon. Yep, there we go. So that should give us the entire outer boat. Lovely. Now what I can do then is just add a very small extrude to it. Okay, just very small, and that way we've got this rim here on the back as well, because that way when you put things on the back they're not going to be falling off. Alright, good, lots of progress there. So remember, from me, Captain Blue over at CG Pirates, take care of yourself. You're doing great if you're following along. Just take your time, and with a little practice you'll be making great game assets for your games. See you next time, and yarr!